Welcome back to MFO, everybody. We are out here on a rainy Tuesday morning, although the rain just stopped. So
I forgot my rain jacket. I'm soaked.
we're gonna do a little float fly fishing here on a little unknown lake here in northern Illinois.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say the name of it or anything.
Yeah, we
like
can
that,
keep it a secret.
But we'll show you. We're float fly fishing today for pretty much whatever we can catch, right?
Yeah. Hoping for some bass, but if there's a 9-foot northern, then we'll take it.
We'll take whatever we can catch. Stick around, guys. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. So, Bo, what do we got going on here?
So we've got Rusty and Tim. They are Wyoming residents. They came all the way from Wyoming. Tim trailered his drift boat there. You got to make sure you call it a drift boat, not a raft. And those are oars that Rusty's holding. They're not paddles. Those are proper fly fishing terms. And what we're trying to do is marry two fishing, kind of lucrative fishing hobbies. That is fly fishing. So we're trying to bring the Western folks to the Midwest. They're both veterans. And they want to come out and target some smallies and some northern. And yesterday we were on the Kishwaukee River all day. Yesterday was a really nice day. Sunday was rough. It was all rain. We partnered with Anthony Rosati, who is an avid Midwest fly fisherman. He had a friend, Ben, so they brought their drone out. They're going to do a whole video on our trip yesterday. But what we're trying to do is we're going to do this every year. And this is kind of our practice year. To figure out when the fish are moving the most, when we can get the best chances at getting on some nice smallies. So this was our trial run. They had a ton of fun. We didn't catch any sizable fish. You know, there's a couple of 1.5 pound, 2 pounders, but nothing crazy.
Smallies,
sizable.
though, right?
Smallies, yeah. We're here to try to get a northern in this little kind of a honey hole. Real nice clear water, but it's been raining all day. I'm completely soaked. I forgot my rain jacket, so that's on me. But we're gonna try a little bit more, a little longer here, and see if we can't get a bite or two, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna do some carp fly fishing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to some ponds that we have, and we're gonna try to get a big carp, because neither one of them. Tim, have you ever caught a carp on a fly rod?
No, never caught a carp.
So neither one of them have ever caught a carp on a fly rod. That'll be a fun
Awesome.
a fun fight. So
All right. Well, we'll see what we can get here. Let's give it a little bit more before we pull the drift boat out and move to our next spot.
yeah, and maybe we'll just make it stop raining. That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. We'll work on that too.
That'd be great.
So, Tim, other than the obvious difference in that you have a human trolling motor who's working the oars to move you along, what are some of the other differences as you're out here working a fly rod versus, you know, us bass fishermen who are using rod and reels?
It's just a different technique, different style of fishing. Warm water fish, cold water fish, it's pretty much universal, and you're just moving your fly. Right now I'm throwing a streamer, so what I'm doing is imitating a bait fish, and then just like throwing your lures, different colors, different shapes, different weights, different size hooks.
So that streamer is just really a minnow imitating
Correct.
type of bait.
Just a bait fish of some sort. You know, today we're using white. Water's pretty clear, good visibility. They can see it. Darker days or cloudier water, we may use a darker fly, black and olive, different shades of brown, where the fish really don't have a chance to figure out is it real or is it something else that I'm not seeing. They're just going to hit a shadow. Mostly out of aggression. Bass and pike obviously are pretty much predatory fish, so they'll bang these streamers pretty hard. And we call it the fishing with 1,000 casts in a day with streamers, because you'll cast and cast and cast with nothing, and then all of a sudden just
Out of nowhere.
it just goes. It's just chaos. You've got fish on. And, being on ponds versus drift boats are designed to be on moving water, so that's why we're always on rivers and larger creeks.
Right, and that way you're really using the current to move, and you're kind of just steering and
Correct.
and
Absolutely.
adjusting the, if you got strong current, you're kind of not moving as fast.
Right.
that kind of
really,
thing.
if you look at it, people think it's like a rowboat. Well, it's really not, because you don't row forward when you're on the water. You're on moving water. You're just using the current as to propel you, and you're just steering and working the banks or working different runs or seams or buckets that we call them. And then you read in the water because you're watching out for obstacles, because we're running. Sometimes we're in shallower water, so you want to stay off the rocks. Keep from tearing your boat up or getting stuck and getting out and having to drag it over the rocks and the gravel.
That's the fun stuff.
Which we do.
All right.
But no, it's a passion, just like any kind of fishing. You just kind of get hooked normally on one style, and most people kind of stay with that. But any day on the water is a great day.
Absolutely.
Fish just make it a little bit more fun.
All right, let's see you work that streamer.
So what we're doing with a fly rod versus throwing a lure, you're using the weight of the lure to pull your line out. The fly rods, basically, majority of them are 9-foot rods, and the flex of the rod tip is what propels the line, so the fly actually is just kind of along for the ride. You don't have to muscle it, because you're going to let the rod do the work for you. And it's all about starts and stops. So you pull your rod up, you stop, rod tip flexes, you bring it forward, you stop, it flexes forward, and propels that line out for you.
And then you're moving the fly with your left hand as you're stripping line through, is that?
Right, you strip the line through, and then if you get a fish, then you're gonna sit there, you're gonna lift your rod tip up to help set the hook, and then that fish is gonna fight the flex of the rod, and then you're gonna control it with the line under a finger, because that's now your drag, and that's kind of your brake. Bigger fish, you'll strip in, and then you'll get them on the reel, and then go from there. Smaller fish, you can just strip them in by hand. Flexing your fingers, like I said, it's just like your brake. And different, and sometimes, you got to do a little faster strip. Sometimes it's kind of short, choppy strips. Sometimes it's like 2-3, let it set, 2-3, let it set. Because this has got a little bit of a weighted head on it, so it'll make that fish look like it's coming through the water, just kind of bobbing. Maybe an injured fish that's kind of getting ready to die, they'll sink down, and then they'll get a little spurt of energy and come up. And that'll get the fish kind of excited, going, well, there's an easy meal for me right now. I'll just grab that and go.
You can see that, streamer, right?
Correct.
Yep, you can see that working through the water. This pond that we're on is very clear water. Well, we just need to know where to go to catch them.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my scuba gear on and start diving here in a second.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, it's been kind of a cold and wet day here, but we did want to bring you this episode. We thought this was kind of cool and a neat thing that Elite Veteran Outfitters is doing, and I bet you by next year we get this up and running. Float trips for smallies, either around here on like the Kishwaukee River, or maybe even a little bit up north on in Wisconsin and on the Wisconsin River. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please hit that subscribe button. Send us your comments, and we will see you again tomorrow on another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.